In 2020, on December 28th, Brian David Gilbert uploaded his final Unraveled video to Polygon's YouTube channel. At the time, LanCon and I were huge fans of Brian David Gilbert, or BDG, as well as the Unraveled series, and we chose to watch the finale together. As we sat and watched, we came to very different opinions on the finale. Throughout Pokemon Edibility, Brian David Gilbert goes on many tangents, which isn't unusual for the series, but these tangents are more pointed, as he reveals that he's never wanted to cover the topic for a variety of reasons. These tangents, which build in intensity, come to a climax when Brian states,
I thought having the answer was going to make me happy. That it was going to prove the worth of my quest, prove my worth, and show people that what I was doing had meaning. I cared so much about knowing the truth that I completely ignored how much fun I had finding it.
He continues to talk about how the joy he got from making the series was never from finding the answer, but the enjoyment that he got was from the journey of getting to that answer. And once that video ended, I couldn't help but feel like that was the worst video in the Unraveled series. LanCon, however, disagreed, believing that this was a fitting conclusion. I just simply couldn't agree with BDG's words, that the point of the series is the journey. While I may have only realized in that conversation turned argument, I've always wholeheartedly believed in the phrase, the ends justify the means. And it had taken me until recently to realize that I may have been wrong in that argument as well as in life. And part of that introspection comes from two main sources: Limbus Company's Canto 5 and In Stars and Time. I will be discussing plot spoilers for these games, but this doesn't mean you shouldn't play them. They're both fantastic, and I would kill to have any of you play either of these. Anyways, let's get into why we can't let the ends justify the means. Part 2. It's all Ishmael's fault. So I finally get to talk about Limbus Company, huh? Limbus Company is Project Moon's third game, and it's the only one that acts as a live service game. It's a turn-based, story-rich gacha game that follows Dante, the clockhead manager who doesn't exactly remember who he was, as he works with a group of 12 other sinners, each of which are loosely based off of different characters in classic literature. For example, Don Quixote is a naive little gremlin who yearns to fight for justice, based off the tale of the same name. Mirabelle is a blunt and distant man, only doing exactly what he's told to do, not out of laziness, but simply because he doesn't know what the others want him to do. He's based on the Stranger's main character, Mirabelle. Heathcliff, not the cat, is from Wuthering Heights. He's short-tempered, abrasive, and most importantly, British. Sinclair is from Damien, and is extremely timid, introverted, and conflict-averse, so me. It's also worth mentioning that Cromer and Damien, the other main characters of the book, also appear in Limbus Company, and also the community is totally normal about Cromer. No, do not check. You don't need to. The focus here will be on the best sinner of the group, Ishmael, based off of Moby Dick. From the start of the game, Ishmael appears to be the only calm and reasonable sinner. She's the kind of person to focus on getting things done when everyone else is content with messing around. This, as well as that hair, I mean, look at it, it's sweet, quickly launched Ishmael to the top of my list of best characters. Limbus Company sorts its levels into chapters called cantos. Each canto focuses on one of the sinners, meaning that sinner's trauma gets a chance to rise to the surface, so maybe we can get some character development. As Canto 4 ended and Canto 4.5 occurred, it became obvious that it was Ishmael's time. And when it was revealed to the sinners that they were heading to Ishmael's old stomping ground, she couldn't help but let panic set in. Ishmael believes the sinners aren't ready for what the Great Lake holds, and because of that, she starts to act out. For example, while Ishmael would try to stand by and let Dante, the manager, handle the situation at hand, she now constantly steps in to do what she believes needs to be done. For example, when a group of pirates are trying to convince the group to pay a ransom, Ishmael just kills them. And later, when the group is interrogating the pirate's boss, Smee, Ishmael insists that Smee needs to die to clean up loose ends, even though it would cause the middle to hunt them down. I'm not going to talk about the middle. When Dante decides to let Smee live, Ishmael attacks anyway, which once again would have done the job, but Dante stepped in, and attacking the manager isn't a great step. So, what is causing Ishmael to act out? We learn that Ishmael has a single goal in life. Ishmael needs to kill her old captain Ahab. Ahab is, or was, the captain of the Pequod, a ship that young Ishmael joined and is what molded her into the woman she is today. Ahab is guided by exactly one thing. She has an obsession with the pallid whale, one of the 5 calamities of the Great Lake, Ahab even going as far as calling it the source of all evils, and, over time, gaslights every single crew member into believing that every sacrifice towards killing the whale is worth it. Well, okay, that's slightly wrong. Ahab gaslights the entire crew into believing that no one dies without her permission, and that anyone who did die is just waiting for them at the port to celebrate once the whale is dead. Ishmael, only being a kid at the time, can only watch as every person she could call her family falls under these beliefs, and Ishmael herself starts to believe that once the whale is dead, life can move on. Once that whale is dead. But, as being called a calamity would imply, things don't work out for the Pequod and its crew. As soon as the fight with the pallid whale starts, it was clear that they were losing. Ishmael only narrowly survived by hanging on to Queequeg, her closest friend's coffin. And on that day, Ishmael decided she only needed one thing: to kill Ahab. So, Ishmael's only acting out because she only sees her goal in front of her, Ahab. Anything else, like dealing with pirates, is worthless, and it's a waste of time. So Ishmael forces her way through them as fast as possible. At this point in time, Ishmael follows the idea that the ends, killing Ahab, will justify the means. Rampant killing, disregarding safety, injuring the manager, and so on. As you progress through Canto 5, we find the remnants of the Pequod. When the crew and the ship was swallowed by the whale, they weren't exactly killed. Instead, they barely managed to cling on to life, surviving inside of the whale, where Ahab leads any survivors at Pequod Town. And, as expected, Ahab still clings on to the idea of killing the whale, but wants to have the sinners provide help in exchange for being able to escape the whale. The only issue is that Ishmael instantly clashes with anything Ahab suggests, but the two eventually come to an agreement. As long as the sinners help Ahab's plan to pierce the whale's heart, letting Ahab get her kill, Ishmael can freely kill Ahab without her resisting. During the journey to the pallid whale's heart, Ishmael gets to talk with Queequeg, the person whose coffin saved Ishmael, best friend, possibly lover, who knows. Ishmael relives her time on the Pequod, as well as the conversations that she shared with Queequeg and other crewmates, and those final, chilling moments. And when Ishmael and Ahab arrive at the whale's heart, Ishmael confronts Ahab. Ishmael has suffered for so long, and being reminded of everything she's lost has once again driven her to anger. Everything Ishmael knew sunk right before her eyes on that day, and instead of Ahab denying it, she simply says,
"Indeed, that was I. I led my crew to their deaths."
Ahab still believes that anyone who died under her hand was simply a sacrifice that had to be made, as they were weak, or they deserved their fate, or that's what they wanted, or that's what they signed up for. The excuse doesn't matter. Ishmael, however, can't stand for this any longer and attacks. It's a long fight between Ishmael and the sinners against Ahab and the remaining Pequod members, but through a grueling fight and some other details that aren't required for this summary, Ishmael wins. But, as Ahab's on their last legs, any trace of the remaining Pequod members gone, Ishmael holds the harpoon that she's been compulsively sharpening for the last month. Ahab sits, watching, eventually making her last move, taunting Ishmael.
Yes, now we have become one and the same, Ishmael. The paths to our destinations are both unclouded. Any sacrifice, any amount of death can be justified as long as we can see out missions through to their ends. As long as we kill that bastard, we will have nothing more to wish for in our lives.
Ishmael raises her harpoon.
Yes, break my heart open and impale my skull, Ishmael.
Ishmael pulls back her arm.
I am Captain Ahab, and I shall be Ahab evermore.
Ishmael launches the harpoon at the pallid whale's heart.
내가 모는 배가 좀 흔들릴 테니 다들 꽉 잡아!
So, with that dramatic reenactment, or more accurately summary, out of the way, let me clean up the loose ends here. Ishmael and the other sinners leave Ahab alive. Ishmael herself killed the pallid whale, and everyone important, the non-Pequod members, are alive. And now Ishmael tries to find her own path in life. Cool. Part 3. It's actually Ahab's fault. So, Ishmael's canto can be taken in quite a few different ways. However, the way I see it is a fight against the ends justify the means. Ahab herself was consumed by the idea of killing the whale. She was so disconnected from life that any death at her hand was easily brushed off. It's safe to assume that this obsession led her to purposefully never connect with any of the other crewmates, and everything Ahab did was for her singular goal, and anything else, like building relationships, being safe, and sleeping, wasn't really worth doing unless it was directly related to the whale. Ishmael, in her hunt to get revenge, mirrors these sentiments, but replacing the whale with Ahab. However, Ishmael never fully locked herself into this revenge. She still talks with the others, she still builds relationships, she still offers helpful advice. So, when it came to actually killing Ahab, Ishmael realized something. If Ishmael kills Ahab, everything that Ahab has done in the name of the whale would be justified. Ahab might not have been able to kill the whale herself, but the long list of people who died under Ahab's control would simply turn into examples of how devoted Ahab was to killing the whale. Those deaths would change from being meaningless and unnecessary to a list of devoted people involved in the tragedy of a failed whale killing. To avoid granting Ahab the excuse of the ends justify the means, Ishmael had to remove the ends. By killing the pallid whale, Ahab doesn't get her one goal in life, sure, but it also means that everything Ahab has done was all for nothing. The lack of an end means that Ahab can't put the blame anywhere else, even if Ahab will continue to gaslight herself into believing there's another pallid whale. So, if we take Ahab's arc as an example, we see that the phrase, you know the one, I'm already saying it way too much, leads to a disregard for one's current life. However, Ishmael's arc gives a slightly different reason. When the Pequod crew was consumed by the whale, Ishmael's goal in life became killing Ahab. As it's said in the Millie song that played during the entire boss fight, Ishmael's compass was swallowed by the sea. She had no route to take in life unless it was with Ahab, and even if Ishmael did kill Ahab, what would Ishmael do after? She would be lost. merely basking in the faltering afterglow of Ahab's death. By reclaiming her compass, Ishmael regains the ability to see her own future. She can actually make meaningful choices instead of being bound to whatever would get her closer to Ahab. Limbus Company's Canto 5 is a masterpiece, and while the whole mobile game tendencies can get in the way, I would once again recommend anyone to give it a go. And now, without another moment, let's get to Part 4. I don't want this moment to end. 2024 just started. I just posted a large project the day before, and I was relishing in the fading feeling of success. But with that card video out of the way, I finally got to sit down and play in Stars in Time. It took me about 23 hours, over 3 days for me to finish the game, and it took me a full week to even try to feel normal after the experience. Even now, a month later, it still kind of stings to think about. Before we get into it, it's worth noting that this game deals with heavy topics like trauma, death, violence, self-harm, unreality, children in peril. You know, if any of that's going to be a significant issue for you, please skip this part of the video, or the rest of the video, because apparently this is going to take a while. In Stars in Time, a disaster has occurred. A person only known as the King has taken residence in the House of Change, corrupting the building itself as well as slowly freezing the world in time. You play as Siffrin, who tries to be the funny jokes pun person of the group. Siffrin's the lead, but he tries to give off a vibe of everything's alright while still being easygoing. The key word there is tries, but that's for later. Siffrin also has a little bit of forgetfulness going on. Okay, more like a lot of forgetfulness going on. Oh, and they don't really talk a lot. Siffrin was the second last party member to join the group that's going to save the world. And speaking of the party, who else do we have? Well, first, you have Mirabelle. She's actually a Housemaiden, meaning that she knows all about the Change God as well as the building the King's in. She's always polite, caring, sometimes a little anxious, but most importantly, she's very good at keeping the party's spirits up. Oh, and she was blessed by the Change God. Mirabelle's the only party member that can't be frozen in time during a battle, and acts as the party's healer. Then there's Isabeau. He's the big, rough, and tough kind. I'd say he fits the classic dumb jock type, but there's a lot more to him. He loves joining in Siffrin's puns, he cares a lot for his other party members, and he does know quite a few things. Our last combatant is Ultrakill, who takes up the role of a mage or a wizard. She's perceptive, curious, and is researching something. She won't tell the party what it is, letting Siffrin and Isabeau guess. Oh, and there's one more. The last addition to the group, Bonnie. Bonnie is a child who was saved by the group when their town was frozen in time. Bonnie's really interesting in terms of gameplay, as they're never actually in combat. They can't be hit, and every so often they'll give a random action, like hitting the enemy with... No. Oh, it can't be. A frying pan? 10 out of 10. Best game. Sequel, please. I need to know more about the Now that you know who you'll be listening to for this whole playthrough, let's get into it. It's the day before your party will fight the king. Siffrin is oversleeping. Wow, so me. And is awakened by Mirabelle. She wants to have a sleepover at the clock tower with the party, and you need to invite them. Oh, and you made Mirabelle feel bad about the idea. How dare you? You travel around the town of Dormont, talking to each member. Ultrakill points out that everyone was going to go to the clock tower anyway, so the whole talking to each party member was kind of pointless, but you also pray to the Change God and make a wish at the favor tree. Afterwards, you have a good sleepover at the clock tower, and the next day you head into the House of Change. The party stands in front of the castle, taking the sight in before actually entering. you find yourself in a simple room with 3 doors, the upper door locked. Hopefully it'll lead to the next actual area. To the left, a storage room with quite a few tonics, or potions, and to the right you can find a key on the ground. Wow, it's like it's the tutorial area. Unlocking the door and continuing on, you find yourself in another hallway, but as you head forward, Mirabelle stops you. This is the hallway of death, and there's meant to be a trap somewhere here. Well, you check everything in the room, and you can't find anything. Mirabelle isn't convinced, but you have a king to fight. You lead the group forward, showing that nothing's wrong in this room. And that's the reveal that this is a time loop game. I mean, if you were looking on the Steam page, the whole time loop part is a selling point, but this is news to Siffrin. And they're taking it very well. Once again, Mirabelle arrives at the field to wake Siffrin. And once again, she wants to have a sleepover with the party. And don't upset her this time. However, you hear a voice asking you to head to the favor tree. This is where we meet our last main character, Loop. Loop's here to help you through your loops. They're seemingly always watching you, and they know what you did in previous loops. If you're lost and don't know what to do, Loop is here to remind you what to do. They're a really good friend, and they'll be the one thing keeping Siffrin grounded. And speaking of what to do, it's simple, isn't it? Whatever caused you to loop clearly wants you to save Vodgard by killing the king, so boom, easy. You'll just keep going, working with your party as you travel, and it's worth noting at some point Loop mentions that you can hit the shift key to skip dialogue, and by skip dialogue I mean that Siffrin is just nodding along through whatever conversation happens around them. However, this isn't like a visual novel. Every new dialogue that happens will be skipped over, so if you don't want to miss anything, you're going to have to read every line every time. Anyway, you talk with your party members and have a sleepover at the clock tower, head to the castle, grab the key to the right through the door, and boom, you're back in the hallway of death. And this time, you find the disarm switch. Great. Heading up to floor 2, In Stars and Time starts to employ forced soft locks. The first thing we need to do is travel to the left to find the head housemaiden's office. Just like every other key, search the desk with sparkles on it, and don't find it. I guess it could be somewhere else? Ooh. So, this loop can't work anymore, and you need to find a way to loop. Thankfully, those tears freeze you in time, so... Oh, and I should say, the game doesn't completely hate you, letting you loop to the start of any floor you've reached, so that's nice. Anyway, back to floor 2. We head to the left, search the head housemaiden's office, actually find the key this time. Wow, you suck at this key finding stuff. Use the key to get into the library, find the key in a book, ignore that bit of the wall that looks weird, head to the right side of floor 2. We pass by a classroom and we find the mini-boss. While you're traveling through floors, you'll have to fight this mini-boss guy to get a star crest. He's not actually that difficult or notable, and the fact that you need to kill this specific sadness each time is the only reason to mention him. In fact, I didn't mention that you actually have to do that on floor 1, but it wasn't that important at the time. Anyway, after the fight, you get a star crest, which lets you open up a single path that's blocked by tears. Afterwards, you grab the crest, continue to the right through the door that uses the library key, and now you have 2 routes blocked by tears, but you only have 1 star crest. The party votes on which way to go, letting you pick which route to take, and if you choose up, you'll find the infirmary. And also, you're soft-locked. Congrats! It's not all for nothing though, as sometimes you'll need items or informations locked behind these soft locks, so it's worth seeing each of them at least once so you know what to look for when you need to soft lock yourself again. Anyways, we touch a tier, loop back to floor 2, head to the left, go back to the head housemaiden's office, find the key, enter the library, find the key in the book, ignore the wall, travel to the right, fight the mini-boss, get the star crest, open up the correct way, and finally grab the key. Time to head up to floor 3, and I'll be skipping the boss fights and snack time. Snack time happens between each floor, and also, Siffrin, you need to remember that you're allergic to pineapples. Please, Siffrin, do not forget the fact that you are allergic to pineapples and eat the pineapple offered you on the snack. Do not eat the pineapple. Anyway, finally, floor 3, the last floor before the boss. We start by heading to the right. You find yourself taking a picture of you and your party. Siffrin smiles. The flash from the photo reveals a key on the ground. Grab the first key, head to the left, use the key, find the second key in a cabinet. Travel back to the right, use the second key to find the mini-boss. You get the star crest, and now you have 3 different routes you could go. What about the closest one? You travel up and around, past the picture room, and find a room with a poem in it. But no key. Touch a tier, loop again. What about the next closest one? No? It's a cool observatory, but nothing important. Loop again. And we reached the last way we could go. Good news. It's the right way. Bad news, the door's locked and the key is in the classroom on floor 2. Loop again. You run through the building again. Starting at floor 2, head to the left, enter the head housemaiden's office, grab that key, get into the library, get the library key, head back to the right. Do not forget to stop in the classroom and find the hidden key. Oh my god, you're so bad at this. Great. Fight the floor 2 boss. Actually, you know what? Just touch a tier and loop forward. Go right, take a photo, Siffrin smiles, grab the first key, get back to the left, use the key, grab the next key, go back to the right, fight the mini-boss, get the crest, go back to the left, use the crest, use the key from floor 2. The party, understandably, is shocked that you have the key. Good, let's get going. Oh, hey, is that a bathroom? Let's go. Siffrin finds themselves alone in their bathroom stall. In this stall, Siffrin has an inner monologue where you truly get to see how they're feeling at the moment. So, why can't this stall be a moment of respite for me? Well, how are you feeling? Is this summary too long? I can't help but feel like this bit is going on way too long without reaching any point, but I feel it's needed for context. I mean, you wouldn't believe how much I'm cutting out, but I just want you to understand. I want you to get an idea of how I felt running these same halls over and over again. And as much as this video is about that phrase, I just want you to feel how I felt. I want to be understood, I guess. I want to be understood. Finishing the bathroom break, you can continue on and find the key. It's not actually a key, it's a blade to cut the hair blocking the door, but whatever. You pass through the door, fight the floor 3 boss, take another snack time, and now it's time. You've been looping all this time to finally fight the king and save the country. And he has an instant kill move. Okay, great. Well, that's the next issue. You need to find a way to block the instant kill move. Also, there's this really good cutscene that plays out whenever you actually, like, die to a sadness or a boss or the king. I'm just gonna play a little of it in the background. It's not that important though, but it's good. It's good stuff. You head back to Loop, who suggests looking for a book about defensive crafts. Thanks, Loop. You head back to the librarian in town that tells you about the secret library in the castle. Wait a minute. Book, ignore that bit of the wall that looks weird. Oh my stars. Well, let's get going. Clock tower, front door, key to the right, disarm the trap, floor 2. Head Housemaiden's office, grab the key, get into the library. Oh hey, that wall has a hidden lever. Great. And in the secret library, there's a book about crafting, letting Mirabelle learn a cool new shield spell that blocks most of the infinite damage. And from now on, whenever you start in Dormont, you can remind Mirabelle of the carrot method, and she'll have this spell. Sweet. Let's keep going. Make sure you grab the library key before heading back to the right, grabbing a classroom key, fight the mini-boss, don't soft lock yourself, grab that key, move to floor 3, take a photo, grab the first key, move to the left, open the door, grab the next key, to the right, to the mini-boss, get the crest, move back to the left, use the crest, use the key from floor 2. The party, once again, is shocked that you have the key. Bathroom time! Is this annoying yet? Having to go back and see the same actions over and over again? That's what In Stars in Time does so well. This game doesn't hold back on what being in a time loop would do to you. You can only hold your interest in what people are saying for so long before you just end up nodding along to everything. It's a good thing Siffrin's holding up well, right? Leave the bathroom, grab the final floor 3 key, fight the floor 3 boss, finally get back to the king, and when he does a strong attack, make sure to use Mirabelle's cool new move to survive, and do the rest of the boss fight. I'm not going to go into detail here. That's for the people playing the game. And boom, you've finally done it. With the power of friendship or something, you and your party beat the king. The house returns to normal. The party moves forward to talk with the head housemaiden. But once you talk to her, it'll all be over. So make sure to talk with your companions. Bonnie's gonna head back to her sister, who was frozen in time, reuniting after how long? Mirabelle's just happy to have saved everyone, and she's planning on staying here to continue with the House of Change. Odile's planning on heading back to their home country of Kaboo, and Isabeau tries to admit something, but gets interrupted. And finally, it's time to talk to the head housemaiden, so it can all
Traveling one,
be over.
are you done talking with your companions? Yes? Wonderful, wonderful. I'd like to thank you for accompanying young Mirabelle this far. I'm very grateful. Siffrin, yes? If there's anything I can do to thank you, please don't hesitate to let me know. I know you will be going back on your travels soon, but I do hope you'll keep in touch, if only for young Mirabelle. But no matter what, know that Dormont will always be open to you. Please come back any time. Oh no. Oh no. No. Huh? Oh, Siffrin, I'm so sorry. There's no way we can stop it now. I'm sorry. You'll be going back when everything started.
The air around you feels weird. You taste burnt sugar in the back of your throat.
What do you mean? What's happening? I know you thought your quest was over, but it can't be. Something's broken. Something's failing, rotting. I can't fix it on my own. Not before it all ends. If only I had noticed sooner. I should have seen it, prevented it.
You feel a tug on your stomach.
It's my fault that you have to suffer like this. I just hope that one day you might learn to forgive.
You're back.
Siffrin. Siffrin. Siffrin? Good morning. Well, more like good afternoon, I guess. Were you taking a nap? That's just like you. Siffrin? What's wrong?
You can't breathe. You won, didn't you? Why are you back? Why are you back?
Siffrin, answer me. What's
Your
wrong?
hands are shaking, your stomach is killing you. The whole universe is closing in on you. You're back to the start. You're back here. 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 But you're back here. You're back here. You're back here. You're back here. The journey was over and you're back here. The journey was over, wasn't it? You won, didn't you? You all survived, right? And yet you try breathing in, but you can't breathe. You can't breathe.
Siffrin!
Mirabelle snaps you out of it. You call it a nightmare. She asks if you want to talk about it. Siffrin makes a choice. And after successfully convincing Mirabelle that everything's fine, you should go see Loop. And you do! Loop seems unsurprised, as they may have known that beating the king wasn't going to fix the Loop. However, they suggest that you should, help out your party members? Each of your party members has something they'd like to do. Mirabelle's looking through some papers that look like the ones in her room. Odile's looking for a family tale, a type of book which might be in the library. Bonnie needs to be convinced that you don't hate them by listing off their favorite foods. Isabeau will wait for you to help everyone else before you help him out. To make this easier on me, and for you to play the game, I'll only cover Odile's side quest in detail. So, Odile's looking for a family tale, a book handed down through a family of stories the family has written. You check the library in town, asking if they have any. The librarian says that if there are any nearby, it would be in the castle's library. You slip on a banana, looping to floor 2, paying extra to have the keys. There's nothing in the library, but the secret library has a list of who's checked out books recently. And the baker in town has checked out a family tale. Great. Touch a tear, freeze yourself in time, loop back to town, tell Odile that the baker may have the book. This officially starts Odile's side quest. It's just you and Odile as you walk to the baker's. Talking to him, he had the book, but he let someone else borrow it. You talk to them, but they gave the book to a group of kids outside. The group of kids used to have the book, but they gave it to another kid after they cried wanting it. And that kid? The baker's daughter. You head straight back to the bakery and ask the kid for the book. Your reward for this side quest is twofold. First, you and Odile take the book to a nice place to relax and read it, and Odile starts to confide in you. While she was surprised that you happen to know who checked out the book recently, she tells you a few secrets, and the most important being she's not actually researching anything. After the 10-minute cutscene where you feel like you really get to know the usually closed-off Odile, she learns a new supercharged skill for the rest of the loop that makes all damage types effective for a few turns. So, you leave Odile to continue your quest for helping out your party members. I'm not going to cover Mirabelle and Bonnie's side quests, but I assure you that each of them really gives their character tons of depth. Play this game, please. Once you finish all 3 side quests in the same loop, you can finally help Isabeau, who just wanted to lay next to you under the stars. Eventually, the rest of the party joins in as you have a picnic under the stars. And as you enter the castle on the next day, everything just feels different. Siffrin isn't just here to beat the king at this point. Siffrin, as they put it, feel loved. He starts to believe that maybe, just maybe, if you could defeat the king now, without any looping, you and your party will be able to break out of this loop. So, you head through the castle. You grab the key to the right, open the door, disarm the hallway trap, kill the mini-boss, use the crest, grab the key, fight the floor 1 boss, snack time. Floor 2, you head to the head housemaiden's office, grab that key, go to the library, grab the key inside of a book, go back to the right, fight the mini-boss, open the path, grab the key, don't forget the classroom key, fight the floor 2 boss, snack time. Floor 3, take a photo, Siffrin smiles, grab the first key, travel to the left, cabinet key, back to the right, fight the mini-boss, get the crest, go to the left, use the crest, use the key from the classroom. The party again is shocked, you have the key, bathroom time. For how much effort is going into this entire video, I can't help but wonder who would actually bother to watch all of this. I mean, in Stars and Times, excellence comes from its repeated parts, and I needed to replicate it to get my points across, but I signed up for that. I bought the game knowing it would be a time loop game. I wrote the script knowing how much time I'd waste writing the script, replaying the game, finding and taking second-long clips from hours-long footage. You clicked on a video about the ends and the means. It would be so easy for anyone to just say, actually, never mind. And yet, here you are. You haven't left, and I can't, for the life of me, figure out why you're still here. Leave the bathroom, find the final floor 3 key, fight the floor 3 boss, and have snack time. And also, Siffrin accuses Odile of considering the other party members as acquaintances and nothing more. Odile, however, believes that calling the group a family would fit now with how everyone feels about each other. Each member of the group confirms that they all do deeply care for each other, and from here on, everywhere including the UI, the words party member get replaced with family member. And now, back to the king. It's not surprising, with the cool new moves everyone has, that you and your family have once again beaten the king. It feels good that you and your family have done it. All the conversations with your family members are different, and for the better. So the head housemaiden will be different too.
Hello. Traveling one. Are you done talking with your companions? Yes? Wonderful. Wonderful.
Isn't she
I'd
saying
like
the
to
same
thank you for
thing
accompanying
as
young
last time?
Mirabelle this far. I'm very grateful. Siffrin, yes? If there's anything I can do to thank you, please
Oh,
don't
stars,
hesitate
no.
to-
She's saying the exact same
I
thing
know
she
you will
did
be
last
going
time.
back on your travels soon,
No.
but I do hope
It
you
should have been different,
keep in touch.
shouldn't it? You said
only
something
for
different
young
this time.
people.
You're with your family and they love you this time. And so,
No matter what,
so why,
know that Dormont
why
will
is she
always be
repeating
open
the
to
exact same thing?
Please come back any time. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. No.
You breathe, you breathe. The power of friendship, huh? Why would whatever happened before change anything now? Because you're loved now? You were safe? Is that what you thought? Stupid. You try and breathe.
Oh, Siffrin.
It's fine. It's just the end again.
I'm so sorry.
It's the same.
There's no way we can stop it
So
now.
you'll
I'm
just
sorry.
be...
You'll be going back.
See?
Back when everything
you already know
started.
what'll happen after that. And if you know what
know you
happens
thought your
next,
quest was
it means you're fine. You're
But it
fine.
can't
You're fine.
be. Something's broken.
Siffrin,
Something's failing. Rotting.
something wrong? You turn your head. Odile is looking right at you. You can't shift your expression fast enough. Siffrin, what is it? Is everything okay?
Head Housemaiden, is something the matter?
Can't fix it on my own. Not before it all ends.
Huh? What's
If only I
happening?
had noticed sooner.
Frin? You can't
should've seen
move. You're frozen.
Siffrin,
Prevented
what's... Is something happening? The air around us, it feels like...
My head hurts.
It's my fault that you have to suffer like
Siffrin?
this.
They're all running, reaching towards you.
Frin, come back. Something's
You
wrong.
have to move.
Siffrin?
Just move.
I just hope that one day
You can catch Isabeau's hand.
Siffrin!
you might learn
You take a step forward,
to forgive.
and then you open your eyes, hand already reaching out to nothing. Stupid. You press your palms against your eyes and laugh. You really believed it, stupid. You thought this was it. You really thought helping them would save you. If you helped them, if you were loved, it had to save you, didn't it? Friendship would save you, wouldn't it? It was different, but not enough to save you. And now, Mirabelle's back to feeling awful and out of place. Isabeau won't remember the night you spent under the stars. Odile's hiding everything about herself. Bonbon is back to Bonnie and is back to hating you. And you're back here. That's what you get for hoping. That's what you deserve. Oh, Mirabelle will be here soon, won't she? Just breathe, Siffrin. The power of friendship didn't work. It's fine. All you can do is try something else now. It's fine that it didn't work. It's fine that they don't remember. It's all fine. That everything that just happened has been reset. It's totally fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Back to the stage. Moving on. At this point in time, I'm going to make this clear for the people who've played in Stars in Time. I'll be skipping quite a few parts here, as well as some other relatable Siffrin things, such as hanging out with Loop. Please, Bright One, say it! Oh, Stars, as she figured... You're disgusting, disgusting! And who could forget, Siffrin cracks. For me to mention all these things, this video would take me much longer, as well as mentioning some more looping, but most of these events aren't that relevant to the points I want to make, but more importantly, I don't think I could do these scenes justice. Don't worry, I'll still mention some of these things later on, but if you want the full impact, it's another reason to play the game, right? We pick up with Loop, suggesting that Siffrin should look into something the king mentioned, wishcraft. Wishcraft is the hypothetical ability to literally wish for something to happen, and Loop isn't convinced that it actually exists, kinda like color. But hey, maybe there's somewhere in the cast where you could find some information about wishcraft. Time to loop. Slip on a banana peel, loop to floor 1 with all the keys, look around for something about wishcraft. Read a book you couldn't read before, except it's too advanced for you right now, you'll have to find something else first. Touch a tear, loop to floor 3 with all the keys, stumble around until you find a door you don't know the password to. Read the unreadable hint, Siffrin says something, enter the room, find a sad diary, which mentions using wishcraft to create a copy of the writer's self. whoa, witchcraft's real. And you definitely needed the diary to confirm that witchcraft is real. But this book doesn't really give you the details. Maybe there's a book that's more intricate. Touch a tear. Back to floor 1 with the keys, back to that one previous book. Translated out loud to Isabeau and Odile, who'll summarize it for everyone else. Basically, witchcraft is real, and it works in weird ways. While wishing for something wouldn't be enough, there are rituals one can perform to empower their wish. In addition, wishes won't always be straightforward. If you wish to win a tournament, the wish might let you predict what your opponent's going to do instead of just flat out letting you win. And if 2 people wish to win a tournament, in order to make sure both wishes work, the universe would try to get both of them to go to different tournaments, or maybe it's the same tournament but a year apart, or something, as long as both wishes succeed. So, for witchcraft to really work, it needs a ritual. Only if there was a book somewhere with ritual details. Loop to floor 2, or just walk there. Enter the head housemaiden's office, grab the key, library, secret library, read another book. The book talks about many different rituals to craft wishes, from the correct way to pick up a 4-leaf clover, to calling out shooting stars the right way, to the favor tree. Could someone's wish at the favor tree have trapped you here? And whose wish would that be? Well, everyone made a wish at the favor tree, so what did they wish for? What did you wish for? You ask the party when you realize that no one knows the correct ritual for wishing at the favor tree. Siffrin's the only person who's actually done the correct ritual, which might be why the loop's centered on you. But what did you wish for? Maybe it's that everyone in Dormont wished for their country to be saved, but they didn't know the ritual, so when you did the ritual, their wishes attached to you? Yeah, probably. Now that you know that witchcraft's real and that's why you're looping, you beat the king again to try and get anything more out of the head housemaiden, since she knows about the whole witchcraft bit. And as expected, you get nothing important. But as Siffrin wakes on the next loop, he scrambles to find what he is doing so wrong. The country wished to be saved, but why does this loop keep happening? Or maybe you did it wrong. They wished for it, for the king to die, but he disappears every time you win, and the wish revolves around you. So maybe you're doing something wrong every time, and that's why you're stuck here. That has to be why. If you're still looping after everything, after trying it all, then it must be that you're missing something. You must be going against the wish's will without realizing, and that's why it brings you back, because you're doing something wrong. You don't want to be here, so what? What are you doing wrong? Is it waking up? Are you waking up wrong or going to the house? But you have to go. You have to beat the king, save Vodgard because of him, because saving Vodgard is why you're here. Defeating the king is why you're here. And when you defeat him, you fight, you get his guard down, he talks, everyone talks, you all attack at once, and you defeat the king with your own 2 hands. No, you don't defeat the king with your own 2 hands. Mirabelle. She's always the one who deals the final strike, isn't she? You've never, even once, defeated him yourself. Is that why? It has to be why. This is it. If they all wished for you to defeat him, and you're the only one stuck in a loop, then, you just need to do it yourself. Fight him and tear him to pieces and rip his hair out and reach into his chest and kill. It always comes back to him, doesn't it? It's his fault you're here. His fault you can't escape. It's his fault so many people are suffering. There you go. That's a theory. That's a goal. You just need to make sure Mirabelle doesn't deal the final hit. That's all you need. That's all you blinding need. It's okay, right? It's fine, isn't it? Because your family is here, you can stay with them forever. You're fine. As long as you're with them, you're fine, aren't you? You're fine. You're fine. But this thought is not enough for you to go on anymore. You want to be with your family, not with those fictional characters that have taken their place. Only if Mirabelle didn't deal the final hit every time. Only if she... If only the wish wasn't broken to the credit, and you'll finally be with your family. You just need to go to make sure your wish comes true. Kill the victim for making him remember, killing, getting in your every way to kill him. Just need to get to the end and win, and make sure everyone's wish comes true. You just need to. You just need to defeat the king on your own. You're fine. Get up, Siffrin. You have a country to save. Siffrin gets up. There's no time to lose. If you're going to get to the king again, you have to do your party side quests again, and oh my blinding stars, can we just speed these up a little? You tell Mirabelle that it's okay to be alone for her whole life, and that it's better to come to terms with it now. And she doesn't like that. And runs off. Well, shame you didn't get her shield skill, but you can just show her the book in the secret library. That'll be fine. What about Bonnie? You slip and let the sadness attack you on purpose, but Bonnie doesn't want to be stronger if it means you have to be hurt, so they run off. Well, Bonnie's buffs never really mattered anyway, as long as she's there to watch your back. You should talk to Odile next. You tell her about the family tale, directly ask the daughter for the book, and make her suspicious enough to believe you're holding secrets about her. Oh, and you personally insult her as well. Odile heads to the clock tower, asking you not to come back for a bit. It's not like you needed her skill anyway. One to go. Apparently, Mirabelle, Odile, and Bonnie all talked to Isabeau earlier. It doesn't matter. You need to go stargazing. It is day, so maybe later. Also, Isabeau seems pretty convinced that something's wrong. And you don't need to listen to this. Oh, he noticed. And now he's more suspicious. Oh, my blinding stars. So annoying. And you've gone too far. Okay, great. It's fine, whatever. You don't need the strong moves. You can just grind out some levels in the castle if you need to. You just need your party to get to the king so you can kill him. So after a quick talk with Loop, who isn't convinced, you head off to the clock tower to rest up for the next day. But your party... Everyone, Siffrin might come back any second now, so we need to decide what to do.
What to do?
About tomorrow?
Yes?
Huh? What do you mean?
Are you saying leave without Siffrin?
What? I understand how you feel, but we shouldn't leave Siffrin behind. He's the one who leads us. We won't be able to evade traps without them. Plus, he's our friend. We can't leave him behind.
Yeah, he was mean, but Frin always comes with us, so...
I agree, but would he even agree to come with us still? Maybe they won't even come back tonight.
No, Frin will be there. I know it.
And either way, we should wait for them. Everyone, we can't...
Please listen to me. I just don't know if we can trust Siffrin anymore. Not at such an important moment.
But...
We'll be fighting the king tomorrow, Isabeau. It's not just a simple sadness. It's the king, the being who is trapped Vodgard in time. And we need to be a team. We need to be united. We need to trust one another. After what just happened to all of us today, could you do it, everyone? Could you entrust your life and future to someone like Siffrin right now? You decide to. Oh, okay. It's fine. You'll just do it yourself. You'll kill the king yourself. You'll kill the entire castle, even It's a long walk through the castle, and it appears to be breaking down around you. You see ghosts of past loops. Doors don't go where they should. Interacting with things will have Siffrin recite the script. As if your party was standing next to you. But they're not. They're not. You reach the 3rd floor, stumbling around the twisted halls, and find yourself in the photo room. You take a photo. It's you and your party. Every step you take reminds you of them. They hate you now. But you could loop back if you wanted, couldn't you? Loop back to before you talked to Mirabelle yesterday. Make sure everything happens the way it always did. Make sure you didn't say all those things to them. Make sure they didn't hate you. But you can't go through it all even one more time. Your heart feels like it's splitting in two just thinking about it. You can't, you won't. And when you get to the king, he'll be there waiting for you. He was expecting to see more than just you, but that is no issue. You need to kill the king. And this fight is long and grueling. The king, unlike every other fight, is more talkative. You've spent so long trying to stop this man, and he's finally starting to crumble. Both of you are only here because of wishcraft.
My wish. You can guess what it was, can't you? Or maybe you have even heard it from my own mouth. What about you, Bright One? Why are you here? What trapped you in this eternal place? What does the star beating in your chest hunger for? What was your wish? What did you wish for? I suppose it does not matter. I will win this battle soon, after all, for a time.
The king looks at you. The king slows you down. You have trouble moving. The king looks at you. The king slows you down. Your vision gets faint. The king looks at you. The king slowed you down. You don't want to fight anymore. The king looks at you. The king slows you down. You don't want to fight anymore. Every great indie game has you attack a version of yourself, and in Stars in Time is no different. But as you keep swinging at yourself, that version of you opens their mouth, but it's not your voice.
Friend?
Bonnie?
Friend, why did you protect me all those times? You should have let me die back then, friend.
No, you couldn't have.
I mean, it's not like you haven't let me die before, right? Why did you protect me? I never asked for your help, friend. I could have been okay on my own. I don't need you, friend. No one does. But, friend, if you had to be hurt to protect me, then it would have been better if you died. You should have died. You should have died to protect me.
No, that's not. Bonnie would never say something like this. Bonnie would never say something like this.
Siffrin?
Odial's voice.
Siffrin. I'm disappointed in you, Siffrin. I thought you were smarter than this. Why would you ever think we were friends? Oh, Siffrin, something as forgetful as you could never have friends. You forget them all, and are forgotten by them in return. It's strange, Siffrin. Every time I'm forced to look at you, I forget everything about you. It's just so easy to forget you, to leave you behind.
No. No. You don't want that. You don't want to forget them. You don't want to be forgotten. No. Oh, Dial Smart. She never forgets anything. She never forget you. This isn't real.
Sif.
Isa.
Oh, Sif. I'm so glad you're here. I can finally tell you what I've been meaning to say all this time. Okay, here it comes. I don't understand you, Siffrin. I don't understand why you're so attached to me. I don't understand anything you say. I don't understand your jokes, your words, your very existence. When you're next to me, I wonder what I did to get someone so weak standing next to me. Someone who's so afraid of everyone, so afraid to be seen, someone who's even afraid to be touched. Do you know why I never touched you when we talk in front of the favor tree, Siffrin? Because the idea of making skin contact with you makes me want to puke. Because the real you is...
Disgusting. Of course, this is what he thinks. This is what you are. Callous, aimless, manipulative. Oh, your head hurts. You can't breathe.
Siffrin.
Mirabelle.
Siffrin. Oh, Siffrin. I can't wait to never see you again.
Oh, stop it. It's not real. None of this is real. You just need to wake up. Wake up. It's not real. Wake up. It's not real. Wake up. It's not real. But it is. They don't want to see you again. No, they want to forget you. No, they hate you. No, they'll go back to their homes without you. They'll leave you behind. No. This journey was only meaningful to you. You can wish and wish and wish all you want, but it's inevitable. They will leave, and soon they'll forget you. No, they'll forget you. No, they'll forget you. They will forget you. It's right. The sadness within you is right. Your family hates you. They will all go home, leave you behind, forget you. You should just give up. You should just die. Die for good. You can't feel your body anymore. Nothing hurts anymore. Nothing will ever hurt anymore. You'll forget it all, and you'll finally rest. You let go. But the story can't end like that. The rest of the party arrive and Mirabelle unfreezes Siffrin, letting them watch as the party beats the king. For once, however, instead of a team attack taking down the king, Mirabelle reflects the freezing attack, letting the king live forever, frozen in time. After a little bit of celebration, Siffrin is slowly dragged all the way to the head housemaiden as the party talks to Sif. They don't hate him, but they reserve the right to be angry later when talking about all the things Siffrin said yesterday. And also, ignore the world-ending event happening outside. The head housemaiden is glitching out as the party tries to figure out what's happening to Siffrin. To her, the world outside. But a few words,
Soon you'll be able to go back to your normal lives. Away from battle and strife. Finally, you'll all be able to go home.
Home? Ew. go home. They'll go home. They'll go home. They'll go home. They'll go home.
No!
Friend?
Siffrin, what's... They cannot go home.
Siffrin! What's happening?
Everyone, be careful. I won't let you go home. This is the final fight of the game, where Siffrin fights against the party. But it's more than that. You need to loop back. So you have two choices. Attack your loved ones, or attack the only target left. Isabeau tanks any hits you throw out. Mirabelle heals you for any damage you deal to yourself, and even the sinking feeling of a forced doesn't work thanks to Odile. The conversation turns to the one point Siffrin has been avoiding this whole time.
Just tell
What
us,
in the
Siffrin.
stars did Siffrin wish for?
Just tell us what you wished for!
I wished I could just stay with everyone. When we win against the king, then our journey ends, doesn't it? Mirabelle will go back to the house, Isabeau to Chauvant, Odile to Kabou, Bonnie to their sister. You'll all go back home. If we win, then you'll all leave. And I don't want that at all. I just want to stay here with all of you.
Siffrin.
I'm sorry, I know it's not fair. I know you have homes to go back to. And I know I should be fine with leaving, because you're fine with it too. It's fine that this journey meant more to me than to all of you, and that as soon as this journey is over, you'll forget me. But I don't want to be alone.
Siffrin.
And I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to trap everyone here, but
Siffrin! Siffrin, is that really what you thought? That we didn't care for you? That we'd forget all about you as soon as this journey was over? I don't want to forget the times we all had together, and I wouldn't want to never talk to any of you again either. And nothing is keeping me in Dermont. I would love to leave to keep traveling. I've been thinking that for a while. But it's just wishful thinking, isn't it? I don't know if everyone...
I wanna see Niall again soon, but I wanna keep traveling too. I don't wanna leave everyone behind. I wanna make malanga fritters for you, friend. And Dial still needs to teach me more about Kabooin recipes. Belle needs to finish reading me that story I like, and I still have pranks I wanna pull on Za.
No, not the pranks. But, yeah, It's the same for me. I have connections with all of you I've never had with anyone else. Even if it's just for a bit, I want to keep traveling with everyone. And after that, I want to keep in contact with everyone. I want to know who Bonnie grows up to be. I want to hear more about what Odile thinks of Valgardian culture. I want to see Mirabelle open up and change even more. And I want to get to know you more, Sif. Talk to you more. Be with you more. I want to be with everyone for a long, long time.
I never knew we all agreed on this. I thought I'd eventually manage to ask if some of you wanted to keep traveling for a bit. It would be nice to finally travel together without worrying about the king after all, wouldn't it? But I never found the courage to ask. And I'm having fun. Traveling with you all, talking with you all. I don't want to stop traveling with everyone just yet.
Siffrin, we want to stay with you too. It's not just you.
This journey won't be over yet. Not if we have anything to say about it.
And even when it ends, it won't be the end. We'll all stay in each other's lives for a long, long time.
Yeah, so stop being stupid and thinking we'll forget you or whatever, cause we won't, stupid friend.
Sif.
Siffrin.
Siffrin?
Part 5. I don't know how to continue after that. Siffrin's entire personality has been defined by what Siffrin can do for the party. He's been traveling for how long with his party, growing more and more attached, but he could only justify this to himself in one way. The group is together because they need to kill the king. Siffrin tries so hard to consistently show why he's kept around. He tries to make others laugh, he guides the rest of the group, he finds keys. Siffrin doesn't see himself as a person worth being around, and because of this, Siffrin is locked in the mindset that the only thing that matters is what he can provide, or the ends. It doesn't matter how he feels as long as the party gets the outcome they want. But in being so focused on the outcome of his actions, Siffrin's underlying emotions are shut away. If you ever asked yourself why Siffrin doesn't tell the party about the loop, it's because Siffrin can't stand any action that could make the party not like him. Hell, to Siffrin, the fact that he's the reason the party is stuck in the loops is enough for them to hate him. Even if they didn't, any heavy, heartfelt emotions that gather during these loops would just get in the way of progress. When Siffrin's goal changes from beating the king to escaping the loop, Siffrin continues with this mindset. Every time that Siffrin is set back, he tries to swallow his feelings, repeating, "I'm fine." But the fact that every setback is so devastating that Siffrin falls into an intense downward spiral shows that he is, in fact, not okay. One aspect that appeared in my original playthrough and not in my second recorded one was Siffrin's knife. At some point through the loops, Loop asks if you are intentionally touching the tears. Obviously, you've been touching the tears intentionally. They are the easiest way to die, but there's another option, isn't there? You're always armed with your dagger. Why shouldn't Siffrin take their own life? Well, it doesn't matter, does it? You're going to loop one way or another, so why not save 10 seconds and take your own life? This option only becomes available after Loop basically begs you not to, and yet you or Siffrin or some mix of you demand it. If committing suicide reduces the time Siffrin spends in the loop, he will take it. And while killing yourself will be faster, the first few times you use this option, Siffrin spends an unhealthy amount of time describing how painful it was and how long he laid there bleeding out. After the third time or so, he decides it's no longer worth thinking about and it's never brought up again. In my original playthrough, Siffrin, standing directly in front of their family, has consistently brought their own life to an end. And I can only imagine the shock and horror on any of the party's faces as they watch Siffrin slowly bleed to death, unable to do anything. But it doesn't matter to Siffrin. It gets looped away. Trading seconds of time in the name of the ends is unhealthy. Because Siffrin's wish, which originates from the feelings they've spent so long ignoring, is the thing keeping Siffrin in the loops, his escape only comes from the justification of the means. Acknowledging Siffrin's feelings about the party and the adventures they've shared was the only way to escape. And when Siffrin attempted to do something that showed his feelings to the party, he'd panic and forcefully loop back to before taking that action. When he's so tired of the first tutorial fight that you do every loop, he finally gives in to his emotions and brutally kills the sadness himself. And when he sees the look of shock on his allies' faces, it's an instant rewind. When Siffrin is so upset that Isabeau will never admit his feelings or even do something as simple as placing his hand on Siffrin's shoulder, Sif takes the initiative for all of 5 seconds, kissing Isabeau and rewinding. Sif is dominated by the ends justify the means. We've seen that Siffrin is plagued with self-doubt and self-worth issues, and the easiest way to hide from issues is to simply ignore them. I would know. What better way is there to hide than to distract yourself, set a goal, and put everything to it? Like Ishmael, Siffrin can't see anything past their goal. Loop even asked what Siffrin's gonna do after breaking the loop, and Sif can't come up with anything. He doesn't even want to think about it. And just like Ahab, as these loops progressed, Siffrin simply doesn't care for anything anymore. He doesn't care for himself, he doesn't care for the party, as who could care after hearing the same thing for the 10th or even 100th time? Siffrin even abandons them on the final loop instead of rewinding so he could kill the king himself in one less loop. Nothing matters but the end. And then there's the finale. During that last fight, Siffrin tries to rewind. He's made the grave mistake of showing how he feels, and he needs to go back. But when he tries to rewind, Odile stops him. When he tries to kill himself, Mirabelle heals him, and when he tries to attack the party, Isabeau blocks it. Siffrin has no choice but to face the truth. He needs the party. He has nothing to go back to, no goals to chase, no future without them. But to break the loop, Siffrin must deal with the consequences of the party seeing him. And in a state where he can't undo the party seeing how badly he needs them in his life, the loop breaks. In the aftermath, Siffrin loses their hat to the wind. Throughout the whole game, whenever Siffrin was seen or acknowledged as a person, he couldn't deal with it, and the response was to hide under his hat, hiding away from the fact that he is worth being seen. But now, there is no hat. Siffrin has been seen. There is no hiding anymore. There is no hat. Part 6. Closing. There's this genre of game I like to play that I call games that make you sad, and while they come in many forms, most of them are visual novels, or at least extremely heavy on text. The ones that hit the hardest for me are the ones that I can relate to. Doki Doki Literature Club has me really connect with Sayori, and that doesn't go well. Metaware High School Demo encapsulates a feeling of existential hopelessness that I have felt many times before. Ad Astra teased me with a kind of loving connection that I only felt with my first and only relationship. Amori, as well as Echo, had me yearning for a simpler time where I'd hang out with friends in our small town, except for how my friends were only allowed to hang out at each other's houses. Have you ever been nostalgic for something you've never experienced? I do, all the time. While Limbus Company hasn't joined the games that make you sad genre, both it and In Stars in Time have myself relating heavily to their characters, especially Ishmael and Siffrin. It's a start that both of them follow that classic phrase that I've devoted myself to for how many years, but it really took me until Siffrin to understand that something needed to change. I've been working on this video for a while now, but I've been trying to focus on what's happening instead of just the goal. I've been taking my time, hanging out with online friends, and trying to sleep at a consistent time. I've been trying to make an effort not to let the ends absorb my entire being. And if you are one of those people still falling into that trap, I hope that this will help you out of it. It's a long road ahead of us, but why not stop at some roadside attractions? Part 7, bonus content. Alright, video's over. If you want to click on something else, do it. Man, you've listened to this for way too long. Go elsewhere. But if you want to hear my additional closing thoughts, here they are. The first is that there's a chance that anyone I know in real life are going to watch this and view me any differently than before. Siffrin moment, right? The second thought that terrifies me is the chance that the dev of In Stars in Time, insert disc 5, will see this video. I feel like I've cut the game down, broke it apart, and splayed the gore of its passionate form across the stars! I've grinded the game down until the very text boxes cry for mercy, and my hand will relish ending this video here and in like a minute, I guess. But I know for a fact that I've mispronounced like every proper noun wrong. I've tried to get the character's pronouns right, but if I've messed up any, I'm so sorry. Or if I didn't include bits that you didn't deem important, like I feel bad about having to cut the whole bit about the king in Siffrin's country. Just insert disc 5. I just hope that one day you might learn to forgive. On an unrelated note, god damn it. There was a Siffrin plush, and ordering for it ended on December 26th, and I bought the game on Christmas, and I didn't have time. I didn't have time to play the game to realize how much I need that plushie, and I will never get my hands on the most relatable character yet, and it has been eating me up inside, dude. Like, you can remove the hat. You can remove the hat. Oh my god. Well, okay. Think I'm done. Still here, huh? Subscribe. Can't promise you anything. Other than, whatever I post will be whatever I'm feeling. Leave a comment, maybe. I read every single one of them. Maybe you can keep that objective-based high going. Please? Oh, one more thing. If you wanted to hear about my further thoughts on the 2 games, or Brian David Gilbert, or how I made the video, I've made a director's commentary. It's the entire video, again, except I'm speaking over it. Wow, how low effort. Perfect to leave up in the background while you do anything else. I'm done. Pan Gaming, signing off, and leaving you with a line that keeps running through my head. How weird to be noticed and known.